The gun shop show, the gun shop show. What is it? We don't know. The gun shop show, the gun shop show. Here we go, it's the gun shop show.
Of all the weapons in the vast Soviet arsenal, nothing was more profitable than the Avtomat Kalashnikova model of 1947, more commonly known as the AK-47 or Kalashnikov. It's the world's most popular assault rifle, a weapon all fighters love, an elegantly simple 9-pound amalgamation of forged steel and plywood. It doesn't break, jam, or overheat. It'll shoot whether it's covered in mud or filled with sand. It's so easy, a child can use it. And they do. The Soviets put the gun on a coin. Mozambique put it on their flag. Since the end of the Cold War, the Kalashnikov has become the Russian people's greatest export. After that comes vodka, caviar, and suicidal novelists. One thing's for sure, no one was lining up to buy their cars. All right, welcome. This is the Gun Shop Show. I am Eli Bruton, owner of Liberty Tree Guns, and the host of this, the Gun Shop Show. And joining me today, as always, in our backstock control room is Trevor. And to my right is Logan.
Hey, guys.
This episode is all about AKs. So what you heard in the opening was us firing one of the guns I've had the longest, which is my Egyptian AK. And then we also did a recreation of a scene from a movie called Lord of War. So don't get mad at me for saying the word assault rifle. That's just a movie quote. Used to I would have tried to play that clip, but we have since learned you can't play even a brief movie clip or YouTube gets upset with you.
They will get you.
So we'll come back and talk about that scene from the movie. We'll also talk about some things that we're going to be covering today. But the whole episode is AKs today, all about AKs. So we're going to show you some from our inventory, some that we took out and shot, and break down that adventure with you. But first, we need to talk about some things that are going to happen today. We're going to give you a chance to get a free cleaning kit, and we're going to talk about how to do that. We're going to break down one of our deals of the week, which is the 12 Survivors Survival Pocket Water Filter. And I took that thing out and really put it to the test. So we're going to show you that, break that down. And as always, we want to know what you think. So let us know in the comments. As always, we are live on Liberty Tree Guns Facebook page, as well as News Talk, KZRG's Facebook page. So get those comments in and we'll get those answered. I know that for some of the guys here, this was one of their first in-depth experience shooting AKs.
That's true. It was for me, first time for me shooting an AK-47.
And I was surprised to learn Logan, who has a extensive history with firearms and has lots of levels of interest. In fact, that's how we got to know each other, was you as a customer. Mm-hmm. AKs had not, to this point, been a particular interest of yours.
No, I've always been an AR-15 guy, so I've actually never got the chance to shoot an AK until recently, which I was pleasantly surprised. I did enjoy very much.
It's a lot of fun to shoot, and we talk about the one that I've had. It's kind of the gun that got me into firearms to the extent that I am now, and led to that in-depth interest that then became Liberty Tree Guns and all of those things. And so we're going to break that down.
I'm an AK man myself now. I'm converted.
Are you?
I am. If I had to choose between an AR and an AK, I'd pick the AK. It's just got way more character.
Which is interesting because you were issued essentially an AR.
That's correct.
The military's version during your time in the military.
Mm-hmm. And I loved that rifle.
And still,
Yeah, still, we write each other often. The Army would have it be that way. But no, the AK was excellent, man. I enjoyed the mechanics of it. Kind of reminded me of how you described the Thompson in the way that it fired. You know, it felt very mechanical. I felt very engaged with the firearm.
yeah, and I think ultimately the story and the history and the reliability is what sort of draws me to that. And I'm always kind of, my interests go in the niche or the underdog thing. And as far as carbines go, the AK definitely falls in that. It's, in my opinion, a legitimate defensive firearm alternative to the AR. And so there's been a couple of our staff members that are AK fans, and that has resulted in we sell more AKs than a normal store. So ARs are really popular, but because we tout this platform, it sells a lot.
Well, it has the history to back it up. It has been around for, I mean, it was a derivative of a derivative of a derivative from the little research that I've done, and it definitely has the numbers to prove that it's a reliable firearm.
Yeah, easily the most, not only popular, but the highest produced. There's the most of these rifles out there in the world. It's used globally, unfortunately, by both good guys and bad guys.
Yeah.
And it kind of has that connotation of being the bad guy's gun,
Right.
The Soviet's gun.
Yeah, and I was in some of the research that I was doing. I mean, a lot of it was anytime, especially in video game format, the terrorists are always using the AK-47.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's the most widely produced firearm in the world. I believe as of 2014, in one of the videos I was watching, it was 1 in 5 firearms, if not rifles,
Globally.
was an AK.
Wow.
And so obviously there's a reason why the whole world finds it popular, but I'll tell you some of the reasons why I do. But if you wouldn't mind, do you have any clips of you shooting it that we could roll through, Trevor?
Let me pull one up here.
So while you do, I'll tell you one of the big reasons is the caliber, the cartridge itself. So an AR-15 shoots 5.56 caliber, which if you're watching on the live stream, you can see. I'll hold it up to the camera. The 8K shoots a much bigger bullet. If you compare height, the overall length of the cartridge is the same, but you've got nearly double the bullet weight. So typically you're around 125, 123 grain bullet, grains being weight. In this instance, lead bullet. In the AK cartridge, which is 7.62 by 39, versus a 55 grain bullet coming from the AR. And now it's not moving as fast. So whenever you're talking, I don't like to spend a lot of time on cartridges because you just start throwing out numbers and figures. But I think it's important to break down for the listener. When you hear about stopping power, how much power a round has, ultimately comes down to 2 factors, just 2. That is how fast the projectile is moving and how much it weighs. Mass times velocity. So that equates to energy, which is measured in foot-pounds. So the AR is traveling faster. So 5.56 is traveling at around 3,200 feet per second, where the AK round is only traveling at about 2,400 feet per second. But because of that total bullet weight, you have a much greater energy, total energy, from the 7.62 cartridge. So it's got about 1,600 foot-pounds of energy, where the 5.56 has about 1,300. And although both are obviously extremely lethal, NATO and our military has chosen the 5.56. So it's clearly a viable round for stopping power. But what I like about the 7.62 by 39 is with that bigger bullet, it opens up some other things you can do. If you ask most hunters 223 or 5.56 is a little light for taking down a deer. You can be done, but it's hard to trust it. Where 7.62 by 39 is probably going to stop a deer without a lot of, a lot of tracking. So you have about equal. This is an interesting talking point in terms of long range. You have about the same as a 30-30 rifle. So total energy velocity from a 7.62 by 39 is about the same as a lever action 30-30. So you're going to get kind of maximum effective range of 300 yards or so, but pretty good stopping power within that window. And when we shot it, you could see when it would hit either the stump we were shooting at or the ground.
Yeah.
It was digging a hole pretty quick.
Definitely. And it didn't seem like it took a whole lot either to make a good-sized divot. But it would have been interesting for me anyway to do a side-by-side comparison between the AR and the AK in terms of we were putting rounds straight through that stump, and it was probably a good foot thick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you think the 5.56 would have a similar effect?
Because you've got such velocity, I think you're going to find that it did have good penetration, but you don't have as much weight to carry it through.
Yeah.
So, but it sounds like you've identified something that we need to break down for the viewers.
Mm-hmm. You talking about putting things through things?
Well, AK versus AR. We can break down all of that and the pros and cons of each. And coming up, we're going to show you some more footage and let you hear our experiences at the range with these AKs. We're also going to give you a chance to get some free merch, and we're going to talk about an exclusive firearm from Liberty Tree Guns. Stay with us. News Talk, KZRG.
We don't know the gun shop show, the gun shop show. Here we go, it's the gun shop show.
Hey Gun Shop Show listeners, I wanted to tell you about something I'm really excited about, and that is an exclusive new firearm only from Liberty Tree Guns. That's the Ruger Security 9 LTO. This is an affordable pistol that comes with Ruger's renowned reliability and workmanship, and comes with an optic with a 3-year warranty. If you haven't ever shot a pistol with an optic on it, it's a lot of fun and you can really acquire a target quickly. Take the time to watch the unboxing video, watch the full video at libertytreeguns.com, or we'll put the link below here in the show. I'd like to do a quick unboxing video and just show you everything that the Ruger Security 9 LTO comes with in the box. All right, Ruger Security 9 LTO unboxing. So it pretty much obviously comes with everything the Ruger Security 9 would already come with. And this is how they look in the box. Ruger started doing this insert in the box, which is kind of nice. We've had to modify it a little bit to make sure that your optic fits. So there's a cutout so the cover can go on and then the gun can fit right here in that. They come with 2 mags, so a lot of price point guns, you're just getting 1 mag, but you get 2 15-round OEM mags. A couple little bonuses is the optic comes with the AR mounts. So if you want to pull this optic off and run it on an AR, you've got everything that you need. That's a freebie, just comes in the box. Once we pull this insert out, here's where all the goodies that come with the optic. Got a 3-year warranty on the Firefield optic, the user manual. It has the tools for both mounting the optic if you want to take it off, and also the adjustment screwdriver for the windage and elevation, and then all of the factory information for your pistol. So this is the format that those will come in. And again, guys, remember, this is an option if you are excited to try out an optic on a pistol and you want to do it for a price point. So these at this price are cheaper than some guys are paying for just an optic. You're getting the gun and the optic. You can get the price and all the details at libertytreeguns.com. Just search LTO.
That's how I want to be filmed.
humble French girl.
Rock front end and yeah, rock back. There you go.
Rock it like it's hot.
Oh, damn.
Welcome back. This is the Gun Shop Show, and you are with your friends in the gun business, Liberty Tree Guns, where we are coming to you from the sales floor of our retail store here in Carthage, Missouri. And what you just heard and or saw was Trevor shooting an AK out at the range. That was my personal Arsenal Sam 7, and Trevor, it seemed like you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did. I'm pretty sure I got to shoot your other one too, the older one. And honestly, I mean, they both were great. As you could see, I didn't miss one time.
Well, we were murdering bottles of Fanta.
Yes.
In case,
Yeah.
in case you're listening on the radio. So if you want to check out the live stream, you can just go to Facebook and go to the Liberty Tree Guns page. And in this case, we blew up a bottle of blue Fanta
This time.
which clearly says on the label contains no juice.
Yeah, and that's why.
Yeah.
We are not fans of Fanta.
Clearly.
That was your 15-second terrible joke break.
This has been. But I wanted to break down a couple of the guns that we took out to the range and tell you how they helped shape my interest in firearms. Would you bring me the Egyptian first?
Make sure you walk like an Egyptian whilst you bring it.
Yeah. Bring it like an Egyptian. That wasn't it.
We don't know what that
I
was.
don't know what that was, like Gomer Pyle does. I don't know. Thank you, though. So I don't remember exactly what sparked my research into AKs as something I might want to own, but I went with my now father-in-law. At the time, I was dating his daughter, and that's Keith. Those of you that are fans of the store, you know Keith is my store manager. And one of the ways that I managed to break the ice and get over that whole being the boyfriend thing was our common interest in guns. He may have tried to pull that whole, well, when he comes in, I'll be cleaning my guns thing.
Yeah.
And it backfired. I'm like,
Right. You're like,
sweet.
You're like, hey, you want me to clean that for you?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And
He's like, this boy's going to marry my daughter someday.
yeah, that's exactly.
He's like, Eli, will you marry my daughter?
That's basically what happened. But we started going to gun shows, and you know, I was poor. I was a teenager, and so a lot of AKs, even at that time, 13, 14 years ago, were still fairly expensive, you know, $500-$600. And I walked the whole show looking for an AK, and I found this one sitting on a table of a guy that was dressed like the prospector off of Toy Story.
Okay.
He had kind of a Western look. And
Did he have a whistle in his speech too?
it was very, yeah, it was that exact kind of vibe. And I said, hey, I'm interested in that. And he like almost wouldn't talk to me about it because he wanted to get me into cowboy action shooting.
So he's like, yeah, but check this out.
He didn't even have any other guns. He was there to try to find people. It was just an old guy sitting at a table with one AK next to him. And, you know, I'm like, yeah, I've been researching these, kind of wanting to, like, talk to him about the gun. And he's like, have you heard of cowboy action shooting? I'm like, well, I've heard of it, which, if you don't know, cowboy action shooting is where they use... it's actual firearms, but they load them with like wax bullets, and then they recreate what would be like cowboy movie style
Yeah.
combat. So they'll ride a horse, and they'll have like lines of balloons lined up beside them, and they'll ride a horse through an arena and fire at both sides.
Oh, that's kind of cool. For some reason in my mind, I was imagining a lot of like from the hip, and then
Well, there's that too.
hitting palm on the hammer.
Yeah, so it's those era specific Wild West Americana kind of guns.
And that's what was that? Wild Hillbill Hickok or something like that? Wasn't he one of those guys?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
You get Wyatt Earp, that kind of era, and so there's guys that it's a little bit of preservation of history, and it's a little bit of LARPing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I associate LARPing myself with the knights and kings and things like that. But I guess live action role play can be almost anything.
It's if you are into cowboy stuff, this is a way to live the cowboy life for a little bit. And this is all the things that he's pitching me on. And I'm like, I really want to buy this AK. And so I would have to, and go back and forth for a while just to get him to come back a little bit to this gun. He'd say, yeah, I mean, me and my son shot it a lot. Anyway, and he'd go right back into trying to tell me about single action revolvers. But over the course of a 6 or 7 hour day, I kept going back to that table.
Wow, it took that long.
It
huh?
did.
Yeah.
I kept going back and
Had to wear them down.
Got some sweat equity in that thing.
he wanted like $425 for it, and I had like $260 on me, and I kept going back and offering him less. And each time that I listened to one of his stories, though, we got a little closer together.
Hey, man, that's one of the ways.
And I ended up scraping together the rest of it, and I bought that gun for, I believe, $275. And it is an Egyptian Mahdi. It's Maadi, I believe, is the manufacturer. So that just shows you, you might not really associate Egypt with Eastern European, a Russian design like the Kalashnikova, but that is what their military uses. And so this one was made over there in Egypt. You don't see as many of these anymore, but it's got the side folder on it. It's just a stamped receiver, and depending who you ask in AK aficionado world, they range their opinion of what the quality of these are. But I tell you what, part of my research was how durable these are regardless of their environment or their condition. So when I bought it, I said, I'm going to see how many rounds I can shoot through it before I clean it and before it starts to malfunction. Well, that was 13 years ago. I have never cleaned this gun.
It fired well yesterday. I mean, we probably cleaned it out a little bit.
It did not malfunction once. It's never been cleaned. I have sprayed it down with spray lubrication before, but I have never scrubbed it. I've never cleaned it. When I field stripped it, I've never wiped it down. I just put it back together and shoot it. And so coming up, we will break down how to get some freebies from Liberty Tree Guns. We'll also talk about the field test I did of the pocket water filter. Spoiler alert, it's gross. Coming up, stay with us here on News Talk KZRG.
It would be one thing to just tell you about our deal of the week, the 12 Survivors pocket water filter, but it would be even better just to show you. We came down to the Spring River bottom where the water is famously bad, and Trevor is gonna get me some water. Let's get in there.
Yeah, let's get some dirtiness in there. Nice and dirty. Oh yeah. Look at all that gross.
Let's get some out of this puddle. Scrape it in there nice and deep like. Scoop it.
Oh yeah, look at all that nasty mud. You think it'll taste like chocolate?
Artifacts.
All right, our deal of the week, the 12 Survivors Pocket Water Filter. Filters out Salmonella, Giardia, pretty much every bad kind of bacteria and makes water completely safe to drink. I've got the little pre-filter on there, so here we go. So good. Actually, it's not bad. Like, it just tastes like regular water. That's really impressive. The 12 Survivors Pocket Water Filter is the deal of the week from Liberty Tree Guns. Getting it supports the gun shop show. You can get it on libertytreeguns.com. Has some really cool features, and it makes even the nastiest water safe to drink. There's a pre-filter that really is just designed to get the sediment out. If the water's cleaner than this, you don't need the pre-filter, but it's also threaded. So that'll thread right onto a normal water bottle or soda bottle. So if you're in a survival situation, you could scoop out the water into a water bottle, thread this on top, carry it with you, and make it safe to drink. Or carry them separately, thread it on just when you need to drink. So get it, libertytreeguns.com.
Kids are curious by nature. Do your part to prevent unwanted tragedy from striking in your home by doing these simple tasks. Consider gun locks and/or gun safes for storage of firearms. Don't leave your guns unattended where children could reach them. Discuss with your children the rules of firearm safety. Sign your kids up for hunter safety classes. Firearm safety in the household is your responsibility. Do your part to prevent unwanted tragedy from striking in your home. For more information, visit jaspercountysheriff.org.
How do you like that orange nail polish?
It's actually really visible.
Is it popping for you?
It is. That's a whole lot of fun.
All right, that was Logan shooting the Egyptian. What do you think, Logan?
I really liked it. I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked it, being kind of an AR guy myself.
If you look at that backstop and the amount of mud that was getting blasted up on that, it's quite a bit of firepower. I mean, of course, we were at fairly close range, but that's why I like that 30 caliber bullet. If you shoot, and we just talked about how the velocity is not that much different, or I'm sorry, the total energy is not that much difference. 1,600 foot-pounds from 7.62 by 39 and 1,300 foot-pounds from 5.56. Numbers-wise, not huge difference.
It doesn't seem like it, but I would be willing to bet that 300 probably would be, you would notice 300.
And that doesn't tell the whole story. It depends on what you're shooting.
Right.
For example, if you shoot a cinder block with these two calibers, the amount of damage that you get from the 7.62 by 39 is significantly more. So, yeah, total energy and the math matters when you're talking about wound channel and stopping power, but you hit interference like a wall or a structure, and there's a dramatic difference in what that penetration rate and all of that is. And it can kind of be seen in that video footage when we're shooting the stump. We were all pretty amazed at how much damage that it did, and that gave us an idea.
Well, I'm going to ask a question that's probably going to make me sound like a total naive person, but With handgun rounds, you can get full metal jacket or a hollow point. Do they make anything like that for those sorts of rifles? I mean, it's full metal jacket, but do they make hollow points and stuff like that?
Absolutely. So they make soft point hunting rounds, which are going to have more expansion. They also make ballistic tip, which is basically a hollow point with a plastic filler, so it still flies like a normal shaped bullet, but it functions like a hollow point when it hits. But one of the interesting things that shapes our opinions about calibers so much is there are treaties, the Geneva Convention specifically, that govern what types of projectiles can be used in war. So on the civilian market, absolutely, there's hollow points for both. However, it is illegal under the Geneva Convention for militaries to use hollow point rounds. So it's always seemed bizarre to me that you reach an agreement that we're still going to kill each other.
Yeah.
But when we do, let's follow these guidelines.
We're not going to go all the way,
Yeah.
just part of the way.
I mean, it's like we have nuclear weapons, but if we're going to shoot each other with rifles, let's not use hollow points.
Let's at least shoot each other like civilized gentlemen.
Right. That's kind of what it is, but militaries don't use hollow points because they assume that if a hit's a hit, they're going to be taken out of commission whether or not it's a hollow point, which I don't think that's really an accurate assumption. But that's why sometimes opinions about calibers have been shaped with that context, when in reality that doesn't apply to personal defense. So there's a lot of guys out there that say they don't care for 9mm, that they're only a 45 guy. Logan, which are you?
The pistol calibers,
Yeah.
I'd say I'm a 9mm guy.
And why?
They're affordable, light recoil. They're still effective for self-defense while getting a larger capacity than, say, a 40 or 45. That's the main reason is capacity.
Capacity, yeah, that's the real difference maker, because the same size gun might hold 7 or 8 rounds of 45, where it'll hold 15 or 16 of 9.
Exactly.
But you'll see some guys with military experience, and they'll say, well, I've seen what a 45 will do versus a 9.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of truth to that when you're talking about military-style cartridges, full metal jackets, because you're relying purely on the weight, again, the mass times velocity, and what that'll do to a target. Where with a hollow point, what we found is 9mm hollow points are extremely devastating. So that levels the playing field between those two calibers, and for a lot of people that makes 9mm a lot more viable because you're already getting more capacity, you're already getting less recoil, the ammunition's cheaper to own and shoot. And so it kind of comes back to that in the reverse with these calibers. Yes, you can get premium rounds, but if you're going to go out and do what we did, you don't want to spend the money on that. And that's brings me to another point. Although 5.56 ammo and 223 ammo is pretty affordable for an AR, it's even cheaper for a 7.62 by 39, which is what the AK shoots. So you can get a box of 20 AK rounds, which again, keep in mind they're bigger, 30 caliber bullet, more total energy, for $4.99 to $5.99 a box, depending on the time that you get it. Where you're looking at somewhere around $8.99, $9.99 a box on the 5.56. So that's just another, that cheap ammo is just another thing. But I bought my wife a deer rifle, a bolt action deer rifle in the same caliber. They actually, CZ makes a 5.27 carbine that shoots the same thing, but rather than shooting these $5 a box steel case rounds, I go get either ballistic tip hollow points or at least soft point brass case hunting ammo. But we did that because we know all that bulk ammo that we've stored for the AK and the SKS is going to shoot in her bolt action rifle and be more than adequate for taking a deer or a medium-sized game. And so that's some other reasons why I really like that cartridge.
I like that too. I like maximizing your savings.
Right, and from a preparedness standpoint, when you can keep your calibers sort of on, you have a plan for it. So if I'm going to have this firearm and these are going to be the uses, I want to know how much ammunition I have at any given time in case there can't be more, like there has been recently.
Right.
All of that ammo, all of the calibers, both that we just mentioned, or all four, I guess, that we just mentioned, they dried up for a period. So thankfully, it didn't look like there was a total crap hit the fan scenario in terms of society falling apart, but there was the beginnings of one.
Yeah.
And
little flavor.
right. It
Little
just proved that all of the ammo in the supply chain, all of it, between wholesaler to store shelves to be able to come and pick it up, can be purchased in 72 hours.
It was a very short amount of time.
Yeah, nationwide. So that's why, I've been storing, aka stockpiling ammo for years. And it's not because I'm paranoid that the world's going to fall apart, but I'm cautious. And that lets me know I have this many rounds, when properly stored, they're going to last indefinitely for the firearms that I might need in that type of situation.
Now, is the Spam can, is that the 7.62? Or is it any round?
So spam can is kind of that's a slang term for sealed military style can. So they'll be hot sealed from the factory. You have to use essentially a can opener, like a can of tuna, to keep them forever sealed in a way that prevents them from degrading or going bad over time. And so you can get 7.62 steel case rounds, military surplus, in that fashion. You can also get spam cans of 5.56, but you can also kind of create that same scenario by buying one of these bad boys, one of these metal ammo cans that create my backdrop here, and you can put even moisture blocking packets in there, and you can store your ammo and it'll last just like it was a sealed spam can. But we are going to continue breaking down the AK, talk about price points, current availability, coming right up on the Gun Shop Show. Hey everybody, Eli here, and I'm really excited to tell you that the Gun Shop Show is now brought to you by one of my favorite places on earth, located here in my hometown of Carthage on the beautiful historic square, and that is the Emporium on the square and the Woodshed. It's a art gallery, an event center, a gift shop. They have art classes, and probably my favorite part is the burger and steak joint in the back. But when you walk in, you're in this 150-year-old great big building, and there's very unique Americana artwork from famous artists like Andy Thomas. They handle a lot of his originals and do framing for him. And it just has this incredible old school vibe, and you can feel the history coming through. You have to check out the art gallery, but then as you work your way to the back into my favorite part, that's the Woodshed. I've spent a lot of nights and had a lot of great meals in here. They've got burgers. They have catfish. I love their catfish. It's excellent. Chicken and waffles even. It's incredible. And it's also a music venue. So this year or last year, we got to see my favorite band of all time, the Ben Miller Band. This is a photo that you're seeing that I took. And the ceiling was literally raining down. They were rocking so hard. But the best thing about it is not only is this my favorite place on earth, but it's owned by one of my favorite people on earth. That's Cherry Babcock. And she is the real deal. She takes care of her customers, whether they're hosting an event or catering or having a special art class or just their normal business of selling burgers and steaks. Check out the Emporium on the Square and the Woodshed. All right, tell us your name, buddy.
Carson. My name's Carson.
Do you like coming to the gun shop?
Yeah.
Why do you like coming to the gun shop?
Because there's guns.
You like guns?
Yeah. I have a BB gun.
Do you?
Yeah, I have one BB gun that I got for Christmas.
Have you learned how to be safe with it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good shot with it?
Yep.
When you get a little bigger, are you going to get like a 22 or something?
That sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun, wouldn't it? Well, hey, I want to tell you about something. We're going to have a day where kids can come out and shoot. They can learn about gun safety, and they can shoot real guns, and it'll be totally free.
Cool.
Would you like to come to that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to write down your phone number. I'm going to get it from your dad, and then when we have that, I'm going to give you a call, and then I'm going to invite you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on the Gun Shop Show.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Carson.
You're welcome.
Thanks to Carson. We were here on the sales floor of Liberty Tree Guns where we make this show, and we saw him walking by, and he really seemed interested in the microphones and the cameras, and so I flagged him down and said, hey, would you like to be on the radio? And he lit up, and so that's what that was. And I always enjoy seeing people at a young age get into shooting sports.
Yeah, he was very enthusiastic. His eyes really lit up when you were talking to him about those guns, especially coming and shooting some guns.
Yeah, and that's something that we did a couple years ago that I'm going to make a point to get done again soon, and that is the Youth Firearms Safety Day, which is a way to get youth that might not normally be exposed to safe handling of firearms, can give them a chance to understand how to be safe, what to do if they find a firearm when there's not an adult, which is, of course, don't touch, find an adult, let them know. And we found that in most of the tragic firearms accidents, it is youth that are not familiar with guns, and it's the curiosity. You know, they've only seen them in fictionalized situations, and they want to know what they do. And so they play with it just like they do everything else. Kids will pick up anything. They'll pick up a vacuum cleaner. They'll do whatever they've seen done with it and try to do it. And so when you show them, both you go over the rules, you show them how to safely handle it, then you show them what it can do by letting them fire it in a controlled environment, it diminishes some of that curiosity. It gives them a firsthand look at how devastating it can be, and helps keep them safe.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely, and it's a lot of fun because it gets kids, even if they have shotguns before, they can still come, but it's especially targeted to those that haven't ever got a chance to shoot a gun and do that in a safe and fun way. I think make sure before we get out of here today that we cover the predecessor to the AK. I know the episode is called All About AKs.
That's right.
And we recreated a scene from I would say famous movie, but I don't know that any Nicolas Cage movie could really be labeled.
It depends on who you are, man. I mean, there are some fans of.
He's a national treasure.
That's true.
Finding Arizona, I believe. Raising Arizona is a well-regarded movie.
Yeah.
But Lord of War, I like that movie.
It was all right. And so if you missed it when we opened the show, we recreated the sort of monologue that he says about AK-47s. And we may play that again on the live stream and talk about that a little bit more. But the episode is indeed titled All About AKs.
How can you talk about AKs if you don't talk about the predecessor to the AK?
Right, which is the SKS. And a lot of folks have fired these or at least heard of them. They used to be really cheap.
Not so much anymore.
I still think they're a value for what you get. But this was Russia's rifle prior to the AK, which was, believe it or not, the 47 comes from, guess what?
The year.
The year.
Mm-hmm.
So the AK, which seems like, I don't know that it seems modern, but it certainly seems like of recent centuries, you know.
Or
and-
maybe because it just has been around for so long, you know, and it still seems fresh, maybe.
I know, and when people that don't know anything about guns talk about dangerous guns, they talk about the AK like it's this new, you know, technology that is especially deadly, but it was being developed in the early 1940s to replace the SKS, which fires the same cartridge. They'd already identified the need to go from a full-size long-range cartridge to an intermediate cartridge like this, 7.62 by 39, and they had developed the SKS. But what was interesting, and probably the most notable reason why they went from the SKS to the AK was the detachable magazine.
Yeah.
It became apparent, and we experienced it. Of course, we didn't have stripper clips with us yesterday, but the difficulty with which it took to load 10 rounds in the SKS compared to having possibly preloaded multiple 30-round magazines was really apparent. What's interesting, though, is the original designer of the SKS, and it wasn't Kalashnikov. I don't remember his name, but the designer of the SKS actually wanted it to take detachable magazines. He was already thinking that way.
Yeah.
And it was Stalin who said, soldiers are too irresponsible and they'll lose the magazine. So I always thought that was interesting. He put the kibosh on a detachable magazine on the SKS.
And that's crazy. I mean, especially since, we had to load it from the top side. But I guess if you made it loadable from the bottom side, then you might as well just have a magazine, right?
Right, yeah. Which with stripper clips, that's when all 10 rounds are connected with a small strip of metal. You could have loaded them in the top, and it would have been considerably faster than the way that we did it, but still considerably slower than an AK with a 30-round mag.
Also stunts the amount of ammunition that you can put in it as well.
Right, like they make drums for the AK that'll hold 75 rounds or more, and that could never happen with the SKS. But the cool thing about the SKS is it's got that more traditional rifle look. It's got a full-length wood stock. It's going to fit and feel a little more natural. So millions of these things were made, and I wrote down a talking point of how many SKSs there were, but I may have lost it. But anyway, it was in the millions, and yet they never really saw combat.
Really?
They were developed in a time period where they were prepping to use them, but when it came apparent that detachable magazines and what was considered light machine guns were going to be what the world, that was going to be what you needed to compete on the world stage, they replaced them all. And the need to do that rapidly is why they designed the AK in a way that was easy to manufacture, which still lends toward the reason why it's so popular around the world today, is it can be manufactured fast and affordably because the receivers can be made out of stamped metal. So they take flat sheet metal, use tooling to stamp it into the shape, fold it over. There's actually a video on YouTube, and if I can find it, we'll drop it in the links, where a guy makes a AK receiver from a shovel. He takes the head of a shovel and turns that into an AK. And so that's the simplicity of the design. And to have it not only be made that way and be more reliable than its counterparts is pretty impressive to me.
That is impressive. Sounds to me like there's a business in there somewhere, like shovel-made AKs.
I think that guy either sold plans or I don't remember the details, but if I can find it, I'll drop those in the comments. I wanted to cover a variant and talk about how to get your hands on an AK. Of course, we encourage you to go to libertytreeguns.com where multiple AK variants are available. But back in 2015, Obama, thanks Obama, put restrictions on the importation of Russian. Now, keep in mind there are variants from all over the world. Russia originated it. They're sort of the overall driving force behind the design. But like I said, Egypt, Bulgaria, China, all have used this platform. But the Obama administration, during the whole disturbance with Ukraine and the invasion of Ukraine, as punishment, not necessarily punishment in terms of warfare, but economic sanctions, said you can't export one of your biggest exports, which was these guns. And then in 2017, the Trump administration doubled down on that and banned all of the importation of Russian rifles. So that has driven the price up a little bit. But one of the most sought-after variants in the AK world is the Chinese Mac 90, which I have a wonderful example of that comes to us by way of consignment. The owner of this gun actually moved to the Philippines and has entrusted us to sell this for him. So if you want to check out this Mac 90, it's available at Liberty Tree Guns here on Fur Road in Carthage. You can also check it out at libertytreeguns.com. If you are on the radio, join us on the live stream. Go to Facebook, go to Liberty Tree Guns page, and join us there. We're going to continue more with the Gun Shop Show and all about AKs. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, podcast listeners and live stream viewers. I wanted to let you know that the Gun Shop Show is made possible by our friends at Mid-America RV. Being in the customer service industry, I have a really high standard for how customers are treated. Mid-America RV does it right. I've got my RV through their dealership, and I've taken it all over the country. We made it to South Padre Island. We've gone to Colorado several times. And if you've ever owned an RV, you know there's a lot that comes with it. So who you get it from matters. And it's extremely important that you have support after the sale. And here's some photos of my trips to Colorado that we took in our RV from Mid-America RV. They're located just outside of Carthage. They have a really vast inventory, and they are home of the lifetime RV warranty. So I believe they call it a forever warranty. So I urge you, if you're in the market for one, to check them out. It's a really fun and can be very affordable way to get your trips in. So visit them at midamericarv.com. We appreciate their support of the Gun Shop Show. And as you can see, they have a large inventory selection of trailers and fifth wheels, and they specialize in those. They don't carry any motorhomes or anything like that. So if you are in the market for a tow-behind RV of any size, from a little teardrop to a full-size trailer, I urge you to check out Mid-America RV. Now, we weren't sent any promotional material, so we decided, and this is from genuinely from my personal experience. There's a trip of me in Colorado in my Surveyor that I got from Mid-America RV. And so we decided we would make our own commercial for these guys since we believe in them so much. So, Trevor, I assume that you are prepared with material, right?
I'm going to jingle on the spot.
That you didn't make one ahead of time.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Right.
And I'm actually a little nervous right now.
Can you put it on the lot?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it.
Let's refresh. And here we go.
They may not appreciate this.
Mid-America RV, the San Francisco treat.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not so hot at the making up of stuff, so I borrow from other people.
Okay. Well, the point is, Mid-America RV will treat you right. If you're in the market for a travel trailer or fifth wheel, check out Mid-America RV.
The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. Our theme song says, "What is it? We don't know."
Still working on it. 7 shows in.
If you could let us know in the comments, what is it? What is the Gun Shop Show?
Also, happy 7th week anniversary on the show, guys.
Hey, this is totally by accident. I was hoping this didn't get shown on camera, but since we're doing happy something, I'm drinking a happy birthday mug.
7 weeks old.
It's not my birthday, and it's not anyone I know's birthday, but if it's your birthday, let me know.
That one's for you.
I'll hook you up. Okay, so there's a couple things we were covering on the radio. Now we are in the safe comfort of the live stream.
This is our safe space.
This is where a kid can be a kid.
Is this mom's basement?
No.
Is that a safe space?
I don't.
Depends.
That's not what.
No, that's not how that works.
Logan seems like there's a negative correlation with basements.
When you said basement, I was going back to like that 70s show Basement.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking.
I thought it was more like it puts the lotion on its skin type of basement.
Yeah, two different directions.
I saw a shirt that said Buffalo Bills lotion or something like that. I thought it would be pretty funny.
Okay, so I want to finish up what I was talking about, which was this really cool Mac 90 that we have on consignment. And
Super cool.
These Chinese-made Norinkos are pretty sought after because of the quality. They use a milled receiver, so instead of using that process that I talked about with stamps and rivets, they are milled, meaning that it's machined out of a solid block of material, and so you get a lot of consistency and control from these, and have a chrome line barrel and some other features that you don't get on every AK. And like I mentioned, the consigner lives in the Philippines. He brought this to us to sell because obviously once he got over there, he actually got stuck over there because of the coronavirus, but he isn't able to transact firearms transactions, so he's entrusted his friends in the gun business, which is Liberty Tree Guns, and we have a highly successful consignment program that will get top dollar for your gun. We have a 95% success rate in selling your firearm. Whenever you do that, you have total control. So we decide together on the price. It is your choice, except we won't let you overprice it. So having a gun that is just totally overpriced doesn't look good on the store and doesn't make sense because it's not going to sell. So we do help you find comps to arrive at a good price. But if it is a priceless heirloom or something and we don't know what the price is, we let you guide us what you want to get for it. We put that down on paper. When it comes here, it stays secured on our show floor, so behind lock and key or on the shelf in an area where only salesmen can get to it to personally show it to consigners. And we take care of all of the concerns you might have with selling a gun, which are what, Trevor?
Whether or not it will... shipping is one of those issues.
Yeah.
Communication. Sorry, I was thinking something like whether or not it'll sell. We already covered that.
It does, but we reach a wider audience than the average person. So we get a lot of eyeballs in the store. We get a lot of eyeballs on libertytreeguns.com. Logan has been inundated with inquiries from the website. You've been crawling out of a hole, climbing out of... Yeah.
With inquiries.
Yeah. And so that's because we have customers from all over the country shopping libertytreeguns.com, and we can find a buyer for your gun. But as I was saying, we keep it secure here. It's covered by our insurance, so meaning if we get hit by a tornado, you're going to get paid back for your gun, even if it can't sell. So you're covered there. Shipping is something that, in order to reach that national audience, a lot of times they don't pick that gun up in person. So if you were selling it on your own, you'd have to coordinate with another FFL dealer. You would have to find a safe way to package this. You'd have to get a label printed. You'd have to figure out the freight, what's fair on that. We've systemized all that, so we take care of it for you. And also taking that legal burden off your shoulders. If it is legal to do a private gun transaction, but you can't knowingly sell to someone who shouldn't have it, meaning if they're not old enough or if they have a criminal history or are a convicted felon. So we take that off of all of you, and that process is unburdened on you. So make sure you check out consignments, bring those to the store, or you can reach out to us via libertytreeguns.com, and we can even bring guns in on consignment from afar, so you can ship those in, and we can take care of the photography. We can take care of writing a good description and get your gun sold for you.
I can tell you from experience that setting up a gun broker account to sell a gun is not easy. They have put some hurdles in the way. So I started setting one up to sell one of mine, and I bailed on it, and I brought it in and just decided to sell it on consignment because, seriously, like, it goes on our website. I mean, we're getting tens of thousands of hits a day, if not more, on our website. I mean, Gun Broker is the #1 selling, what would you call it, an auction?
This is a platform. It's like the eBay of guns.
Yeah. I think we sold it to someone here in the store, like within a couple of days.
It was pretty quick.
So I think I'm the one that bumped us up over that 95%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's pretty
Just kidding.
funny because, you worked here. You saw the volume of guns that we sell.
Yeah. And not pushed, but, I shipped out hundreds of guns that we sold on Gun Broker. So, I mean,
It's still you're like, I could save 10%. I could save, so I can save. And so you try to do it on your own.
Yeah.
Even though you have more knowledge than the average person.
I've got more experience selling on Gun Broker than most people. I'd never sold on Gun Broker until we started here, and just setting up the account to sell was kind of a hassle. I don't even remember what it was that I had to do, but
Do they make you submit your driver's license?
I think that's what it was, and it was going to take like 2 days, and I didn't want to wait all that time when I could just bring it in here, snap some photos of it, throw it on the website, and boom, it's on Gun Broker.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a pitch, but it's not. It seriously saved me time.
It does, and we've had clients that had 117 guns in the case of one gentleman, and we drove up, loaded up all of those guns, and we sold every single one of those for him at a price that he was happy with, and wrote him a check along the way. So we write checks as frequently as we can, but about every week he was getting a check for several $1,000s as those guns were selling out. And so that is something that we do routinely, that we can do. This Mac 90 is available on our consignment program. If you're interested in it, come in the store or go to libertytreeguns.com, search Mac 90, should be MAK space 90, and you'll find this one. There's other AKs available there as well. I mentioned that we would give you a chance to get something for free. Unfortunately, we missed our chance to talk about that on the radio, so we're only going to give the chance to the people, the cool kids, right here on
The VIPs.
Yeah. So, Logan, what do people have to do to get one of these nifty little cleaning kits?
Okay. They have to go to our website at libertytreeguns.com. They have to go to the Liberty Tree merch section and just order a T-shirt.
That's it. It's that simple. They're getting something that's already cool, already a good deal.
Exactly.
Which is one of our branded Liberty Tree Guns T-shirts. And Trevor, I'm putting you on the spot. Could you go to our merch section?
I can.
Yeah. While you're looking up, I'll show off just one of the several designs. I'm wearing one of the Second Amendment designs. I don't know if we should break it to people what this design is similar to.
Inspired by. You know how the greats, the Renaissance greats, they inspired people?
Yeah.
I was inspired for that design, and I'm proud of it.
I came unhinged when I figured that out. So we'll come back to that. But real quick, here's one. Oh, man, this is in reverse. Am I on screen because I'm blocking my eyeballs?
You are on
good.
screen.
It
You're
looks
good.
actually.
All right, I'm going to leave it right there. This is the Don't Tread on Me version of the Liberty Tree Guns logo. And remember, when you buy these shirts, it helps support the show. So, the sales in the gun store are much appreciated. Most of that goes to making sure the guys get a paycheck, making sure the lights stay on. When you buy the merch, you support the show. And the show, you know, with the few dollars that we get here and there, that's how we buy the camera equipment. That's how we get the radio space. That's how we get the bottles of Fanta that we go out and shoot. Also, this here, hang on.
You can barely see it. There we go.
I was sitting on the couch and watching a show.
Eating something comical, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like maybe soup or something.
Ooh.
Hot soup. It was hot soup. And you pull up that photo.
Of the
Mac.
T-shirt? Oh. Let's see if I can find it here.
Oh, you can. Do you need to know what to search?
I know it's Detroit.
Yeah. By the way, we'd had this on a hoodie for like 2 years at this point. I'm watching TV, and if you are listening on the podcast, I'm wearing a shirt that says Second Amendment, and it's like a smoking revolver. That is pretty cool design. I like it because at a casual glance, it might not be a gun shirt, but as you look closer, it says pro Second Amendment, and it's a pretty decent design that I really appreciate. So anyway, I'm eating my hot soup. What kind of soup do you figure it was?
Let's go with New England clam chowder.
I knew you were going to say clam chowder. That's weird. I've never eaten clam chowder, but I knew that's what you were going to say.
Not just clam chowder. New England clam chowder.
New England clam chowder.
None of that red stuff. Wait.
What?
Which one's the red stuff? There's red clam chowder and cream-based clam chowder.
That sounds made up.
No, it's true. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to Google it.
All right. Anyway, I'm sitting there eating clam chowder, mixture of New England and regular. Or I don't know if the other one's regular. Anyway.
Manhattan clam chowder, guys.
Okay, and then I see this on television. From It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yikes.
I see this shirt.
Yeah. It almost seems like it's a complete ripoff, but it's not, I promise you.
It's
parts of that, big parts of it were drawn by hand. But yeah, definitely influenced. I love this show.
So after I wouldn't say I was even upset at the premise, just befuddled that you hadn't told me where the inspiration came from.
It's you don't always know where it comes from. In this instance, I did know where it came from, although I wasn't going to just say, hey, I like this shirt so much I want to make one like it.
Well, as I look at Trevor on screen and I see the backstock control room, I am relieved because you remember how Barrett got when we sold out of almost all of our guns?
Yeah, I mean, there was probably, I think this area right here, I feel like a meteorologist right now. We brought boxes down from the northwest into the panhandle of Texas down
and
here.
that's mixing with, the brown boxes are mixing with the white boxes, which is what's causing the fullness of the backstock shelf right here. Anyway, we have managed to restock. Logan would know about that, right?
He's working hard.
Yes. Yes, we've restocked.
How is your fingers?
They're sore. From
Are-
typing.
Are the bones exposed? So you're working your fingers, just not...
Oh, that's where you're going with that. I had no idea.
He likes to take the long way around.
I was like, I have a pen. Yeah, I've been working nonstop to get guns received in for everyone, make sure that our shelves are stocked, and we have stuff to sell.
We've got significant orders in recently, boxes upon boxes, and so more handguns and rifles and all of the accoutrement that goes along with that. So anyway, we need to get back to it because we got some more things we want to cover, and one of those is the exclusive firearm from Liberty Tree Guns.
Are you talking about that LTO?
L to the T to the O. The Ruger Security 9 LTO. And if you wouldn't mind, Logan, or Not Logan. You can't control what happens on the screen, Logan.
I know.
Yeah, Logan.
You won't give me the power.
I've
asked.
He controls what inventory makes it to the floor. He controls when shipments go out. But he can't put something on screen.
Not yet. We ain't giving him that power yet.
Not
I'm
yet.
like, Eli, give me the power.
My precious.
So, Ruger Security 9 LTO. This is an exclusive optics-mounted 9mm handgun that only comes from Liberty Tree Guns. No, we aren't claiming that we invented the Ruger Security 9, but we are claiming that we invented this combination with a red dot optic. Now, roll that beautiful bean footage. There you go. Flip it there.
Oh, yeah.
This is me shooting the Ruger Security 9 LTO exclusive from Liberty Tree Guns. Get a gun and an optic for around just the price that you might pay for a lot of pistol optics by themselves. Buy an optic, get a free pistol, almost.
You can't be in here without any ears.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that guy got in trouble.
And he just didn't have ears.
Woo. Yeah.
Not his.
Yeah, I thought this is really weird. They would yell at this guy with a disability. He's got no ears.
I knew a guy with one ear missing.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting off the plane.
We are.
Real quick, if you're watching, you can see me engaging a target on the quick turn action target system, and really the red dot makes it so easy to come on target and hit what you're aiming at. But while we were there, in the middle of that clip, which is actually a pretty good clip, a guy goes on the range with no ear pro and gets heavily scolded.
Yes, he did. Now, I don't know what triggered him other than the guy saying something to him, but I would know immediately I didn't have ear protection on
Yeah.
in a place like that.
You shouldn't have to be told,
Right.
but he was. But I wanted to tell you about that guy with one ear. And he might see this. He's local. I used to work with him at a past job. He lost an ear, maybe in a car accident, but he used to constantly be like, I don't know, we'll just play it by ear and stuff like that. And, he had a prosthetic ear. He never wore it, but he told me that his dog constantly caught a hold of it and chewed it up. And so
That's terrible.
yeah, when he's like, you can't be in here without ears. I thought, well, shoot.
You think that guy's standing back there?
Like, oh.
Do you know when he would say play it by ear, would he gesture to one or the other of his ear?
Yeah, he would turn it like, because I only have one, we'll play it by ear singular. And he also had several other, lend me your ear. I can't, I left it in the drawer at home.
I bet that guy is froth with ear puns.
Well, I would be. Okay, so a couple other things we want to talk about is we have a new sort of plan to get you deals every week.
Making plans.
We have a new plan. Last week was week number 1. This is week number 2 of something we're going to do every single week, and that is Liberty Tree Guns. Drum roll. Deals of the week.
Deals of the week.
So deals of the week are bargains that can be had if you are a subscriber to our email list. And so this week we have lots of good options. We never went to the t-shirts, did we?
We never did. No, I brought the page up.
What's up with me setting stuff up and then not doing it?
I don't know. You wanna shoot through this real quick?
Let's shoot through it.
All
Okay,
right, here
real
we
quick.
go.
What we were talking about was you could get a free cleaning kit, absolutely free, when you order one of our shirts. And you do that by going to libertytreeguns.com and going to Liberty Tree merch on the top menu section and scroll down to click t-shirts. And you're going to see what would you call it, guys?
I would call it a cornucopia.
A cornucopia. Cornia.
Is it cornea or corna?
I think it's corna.
It's probably not time to Google that.
Cornucopia.
I was going to say
Plethora?
Yeah, I was on a conference call and a guy said plethora.
Ooh.
What a weirdo.
I was like, that sounds like a medical term. The arty there's intruding on the plethora. Anyway, plethora. A plethora of. Can you scroll down? Because we're just getting, yeah.
There we go.
There
There's
you go.
the plethora.
So there is the smoking gun, Liberty Tree guns, pro Second Amendment shirts. You also have the American flag shirts there. And we're going to dress those up, Logan. Can you dress those up and get those all stacked under the same size?
They actually were, but yeah, I can fix that.
Yeah.
Let's not leave without also saying that we need another majestic looking
Yeah, click on that. Look at that.
model-esque.
No wonder we had a
Picture.
caller call in and say, how'd you get so handsome?
Yeah. I mean, it would have been better if we'd had this photo up while we were
Yeah, we didn't-
pontificating on why.
But in all seriousness, this is our shirt on one of our guys, Logan. Logan, do you remember posing for that?
I do. That was actually the first pose I did and the first photo we took. It was just perfect.
Yeah,
Got to
he's a
get it.
one and done kind of guy.
Yeah. So anyway, all you got to do is go to libertytreeguns.com and get the T-shirts. Any one of our T-shirts, you get a free cleaning kit. So the first shirts sold get the cleaning kit for free. All you have to do is go to libertytreeguns.com, click merch. If you buy 3 shirts, you get 3 cleaning kits.
If none of those go this time, I'm going to buy 3 shirts.
Yeah. I mean, we're starting to run low on these, but we have at least 3 more to be doled out. And so all you have to do is be the first one to get there.
I can't believe someone would pass up a freebie, man.
Why would you? And to be repping
Repping and
for
cleaning.
your friends in the gun business, Liberty Tree Guns.
Liberty Tree Friends.
All right. So I know that I'm going to catch crap from the little opening sequence we did.
Which one? Oh, wait. Okay. Sorry.
So, I thought we the AK's kind of got this like iconic nature to it. So I was like, we should find it in film drama. I thought it's got to be used in a lot of scenes, and I know I've seen it, when the guerrilla tribe in the jungle, like this is the gun they would have. But the first scene that came to mind is the little spiel from Lord of War. And we've made the mistake before of cutting away even briefly to a clip of a movie and having our content taken down.
Yeah, that did happen once.
Which I think it should be fair use if we're here talking about it and criticizing it and analyzing and breaking it down. But
unfortunately, the bots don't care.
They don't care. So we said we just recreate it, and the result of that, if you missed it at the open of the show, was this.
Oh. This. Any minute now, guys.
3, 2.
Let's try one more time.
Now.
Here we go. And we're going to set it up here.
And
this
is it.
Here we go. All the
it
weapons
is.
in the vast Soviet arsenal, nothing was more profitable than the Avtomat Kalashnikova model of 1947, more commonly known as the AK-47 or Kalashnikov. It's the world's most popular assault rifle, a weapon all fighters love, an elegantly simple 9-pound amalgamation of forged steel and plywood. It doesn't break, jam, or overheat. It'll shoot whether it's covered in mud or filled with sand. It's so easy, a child can use it. And they do. The Soviets put the gun on a coin. Mozambique put it on their flag. Since the end of the Cold War, the Kalashnikov has become the Russian people's greatest export. After that comes vodka, caviar, and suicidal novelists. One thing's for sure, no one was lining up to buy their cars.
You definitely rivaled old Nick Cage.
Pretty epic.
Oscar-worthy performance.
You know what's really funny to me? Logan's sitting here like he hadn't seen this before. He's reacting to it like you didn't just see this in the open of the show. Are you not paying attention?
No, I was. But I was trying to picture Nick Cage saying that because I haven't seen Lord of War.
Oh, well, I could try to do Nick Cage. Can you do Nick Cage?
I cannot do Nick Cage.
I can't do Nick
I mean,
Cage.
I guess I'm not desperate enough. I'm not Nick Cage desperate
you
enough.
needed that
I don't even
desperation.
remember
Yeah.
what he
voice.
sounds like.
Well,
yeah, I mean, every performance from him is he's trying to pay off that debt, that tax debt.
I don't remember what Nick Cage sounds like
he's
actually.
I think
I'm Nick Cage.
disinterested. You know, he's like, in all the weapons in the vast Soviet arsenal. You know, he kind of
Arsenal.
was Kalashnikova. But I don't really have a Nick Cage in my impersonation repertoire.
I know what you do have though.
What's that?
You got a pretty sweet walking.
That's true. That's true. But I need my trigger word
Yeah,
to get me
you're
set
gonna want to
up
get
for-
set up.
I'm
If
gonna-
only
If only I had some documents.
so he's ready.
Since we can't do Nick
documents.
Cage, we could do the monologue from Lord of War. And by the way, don't complain to me about the contents of the spiel. I didn't invent that. It was a cover. Call it a cover
Yeah,
of a movie scene.
Yeah.
So don't be critical. I mean, you can be critical. I don't care. But I didn't write that. I just thought it was kind of a interesting, you know, the sad reality of it's so simple a child could use it, and they do. It is rumored that the factory grip on AKs is so small because it is used by child soldiers.
So you're saying they designed it for children?
They designed it to where it could at least be used by children, which is an unfortunate thing that obviously we don't celebrate, but it is interesting about the development that caused this gun to be in the position that it is in the world. But since I can't paint the picture for Logan as Nick Cage, maybe we just pretend that Lord of War was done by Christopher Walken.
Like if Christopher Walken, it just turns out Christopher Walken auditioned for that role.
Yeah, we didn't know.
And we have audio
We have
of
some
that audition, right?
behind the scenes footage. It would go like, okay,
Even Christopher Walken's got to do a warm up where he's like,
let me pull up my documents of all of the weapons in the vast Soviet arsenal. Nah, I lost it on arsenal.
Yeah.
It was going good until
I had it then.
hang
yeah.
on, let's really.
Nothing was more. Yeah, put his face on. That'll help draw
Oh,
inspiration.
yeah, there you go.
I'm inspired.
Anybody else? You got a voice you can do? Logan, I bet you can do.
I'm gonna give it a shot here.
Christopher Walken? There's no way.
Of all the weapons in the vast Soviet arsenal, nothing more profitable than Avtomat Kalashnikova model. Get your mother to sew that.
Boom. Get it so that.
I just gotta throw in some Joe Dirt references.
That was pretty good. Logan,
Yep.
you do one. The text is in your notes. Who's
As Christopher Walken?
No, you can do anybody.
I'm not good at impressions. Like,
You have
at
one.
all.
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
have one. Let's pick one for him. We need a Rolodex of impressions.
Who's someone who really stands out other than Christopher Walken? He's got a definitive voice.
Do one as President Obama.
I don't think I can do that.
Can you do Mickey Mouse?
Like,
Yes. Do it.
well, which line am I doing?
Yeah, so it's in your show notes. It's
The more commonly.
well, you can start wherever you want.
Okay, here goes. Fingers crossed. It's gonna be terrible.
Mickey Mouse, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds natural.
I get.
I'm just trying to imagine a grizzled Mickey Mouse.
Strapped with an AK.
Right? Like, what was a Steamboat Willie? Like, we call him War-Torn Willie.
Yeah, he was a little more rough around the edges in the early days.
Yeah,
Mickey Mouse was.
Any others? Trevor, you got, I know you can probably do something.
I got a Sean Connery,
Yeah.
but it's really bad. I gotta really I gotta lean into it, like 007, Sean Connery. My Sean Connery impersonation is just me saying I'm Sean Connery. Like I'm Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
That's pretty good.
A weapon all fighters love. An elegant, simple, 9-pound amalgamation of forged steel and plywood.
That was really good.
And
You also,
martinis.
you know who else you sounded like? Viggo Mortensen.
Oh,
yeah.
I like to refer to him as rigor mortis. It's more fun than Vigo.
Rigor mortis. Yeah. That's it. You sounded like that guy.
Thank you. I like Vigo.
He's good.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on from impressions. I was trying to think if I had any more in my repertoire.
You got that Obama thing.
You could do.
It's pretty, dude. It's pretty good, Obama. I think you've done a bill. Your Gary is
A human.
excellent.
Human meat.
Bicep.
Bicep.
Of all the weapons. Gary would never say vast.
No, he wouldn't.
He would. We should rewrite it for Gary.
Yes.
Of all the weapons in that big old Soviet arsenal.
Nothing more profitable than Kalashnikova.
It's really simple 9-pound amalgamation. It's just plywood and forged steel. If Gary played Lord of War.
Well, how about Gary as Nicolas Cage
Yeah, I hope he
in
does
Lord of War?
Gary plays Nicolas Cage. I want to tell you about deals of the week.
Let's talk about the deals.
Let's talk about deals of the week.
Deals of the week is something that happens when? Every week.
Every week.
Weekly.
That's why they're the deals of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And
Makes sense.
deals of the week.
Deals of the week.
We should have a thing where we're like overly hyped radio broadcasters.
Deal.
I'm Dilbo and he's, whatever.
Dealbo Baggins.
Okay.
Let's throw them up.
Logan,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about the deals of the week.
Okay. What do you want to know about deals of the week?
Well, first of all, we saw this one in action. This one right here on camera now.
There we go.
This is the 12 Survivals pocket water filter. And when I knew we wanted to sell some 12 Survivors pocket water filter, I instantly said, I'm going to have to drink some poo water.
He's like, I'm going to go to the toilet and drink. I'm like, no, dude, let's do something better than that.
Right.
So we went out on site. You've already seen me drinking from the slough.
That is the actual straw, is it not?
That is the one. And it also comes with the pre-sediment filter, which if you're drinking literal muddy water like I was, you can snap that on there, but you don't have to. The really cool thing is this thing is threaded. So, for example, you have an empty bottle, water bottle that you had been drinking out of, now you've run out of water, and you can get any kind of water pretty much regardless. I mean, if it's radioactive, you might not want to drink it, but if it's normal runoff water, and that might be contaminated with E. coli, salmonella, giardia, any kind of bad thing, you could scoop water up in that bottle and then take it with you. And then when it was time to drink it, this threads right onto the top of the bottle, and you can drink that safely, just like I did in the video. And we went out and tested that thing a few days ago, and here I am.
Doing all right.
Doing fine. No,
I mean, except for that rash.
Oh,
no
yeah.
rash. No negative digestive symptoms. Everything is good to go.
So far, so good,
I
huh?
have a question. How
Yes.
was the taste?
Strangely normal.
Just like water?
Just tasted like regular tap water, bottled water. I didn't notice any didn't even smell fishy, which
Really?
was weird because normally river water,
Yeah.
you kind of get that. So, which makes sense. I mean, it's filtering it heavily to make it safe, so it would make sense that it takes out any of those things that make it funky. And it was not bad. I was able to get, several mouthfuls of that with no issue. So
Still surviving.
that is one of the deals. How much is that on the deal of the week, Logan?
That is $14.95.
$14.95. We have some other great deals on the deals of the week.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we we have an AR, a Core 15 Scout, cambered at 5.56. That's going to be on the deals of the week. We
Mags.
also mags for that AR.
We know a lot of you bought ARs in recent weeks. Get your mags now.
You need mags.
They're on sale. Ruger Wrangler.
Yep, that's on sale. Marked down a little bit. What else do we have on there? Oh, we have a Rock Island M206 revolver. That's going to be on sale this week.
I have to say, I like that Ruger Wrangler. I like that color. And I'm not a color guy.
Yeah. Well, that's the burnt bronze. That's on sale for $179.95. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And let's see. We had that M206. That's a pretty cool little 38 special revolver for what do we got that thing priced at?
I believe priced at $229.95.
So,
which is a steal for that revolver.
Yep, that revolver that's made out of steel is $229. So good personal protection for not a lot of money. Those are built on a Colt pattern on machines in the Philippines. Strangely enough.
You got a guy in the Philippines, don't you?
I have a friend in the Philippines. He's also happens to be the one that sent us that Mac 90 that we saw earlier in the show. And so a lot of small world stuff going on there. I wanted to remind you about the voice mailbox. We haven't had any fun checking our voicemail.
We haven't.
On this show.
No one like us anymore or something? No one want to talk to us? Call us.
I guess not.
I just want to be your friends.
Call me back.
We have a segment called Checking the Voicemail where we we hear from our listeners, and then we talk about our listeners and their message that they leave us. We access that through this voicemail phone.
That very phone.
This phone is how we get your voicemails on the show. And you can do that by calling 208-918-1776 and leaving us a voicemail with your comment or question about the show, about Liberty Tree Guns, anything about your friends in the gun business, and we'll play it back.
I mean, you could almost call about anything, right?
I would actually encourage you to call about anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a old family recipe for maybe some chocolate chip cookies or something that you just need to get off your
Cookies
chest.
sound good.
Yeah.
You don't like the cut of Logan's jib. You want to call in about that? You don't like that cut?
What's a jib?
I don't know. Tell me what it is. Not sure. But if you don't like it, if you don't like that jib,
I don't like the jib.
Give us a call, 208-918-1776. Also, the Gun Shop Show is growing every week. So far, we have had guests like Sheriff Randy Kaiser, the editor of American Handgunner magazine, Roy Huntington, the owner and founder of one of the biggest gun YouTube channels on the planet, John Patton of the Gun Collective. And each week it takes money to produce this show, so we partner with businesses that we know and trust to sponsor the show. And we've done that with folks like Mid-America RV, which has always been really good to me, High Profile Power Sports, the Woodshed on the Square, Net Fishes, Trevor's own flagship company, and we are opening the floor up for a couple more sponsors of the Gun Shop Show. So depending on availability of slots, we'll work with you to the best we can on how that picture looks like, but we could always love to have businesses to partner with to make the Gun Shop Show possible. So if you would like to sponsor the Gun Shop Show, send an email to
thegunshopshow@gmail.com.
That's thegunshopshow@gmail.com, and we will get, not only do we sponsor and talk about your business, but we also make humorous ads. If you want a humorous style ad, we'll make it for the show. We play that during those radio commercial breaks.
Always try to have fun with it.
It is fun, and I think it helps make those more watchable, and so customers and viewers of the Gun Shop Show want to see what we're up to next, and that next project can be your business if you sponsor the Gun Shop Show. All right, guys, I think that's all that I have for this week.
Okay. That makes me sad. Just kidding. Let's remind the listeners they can watch us live on YouTube, youtube.com/LibertyTreeGuns. You can watch us live or any of our videos there.
Facebook.
Facebook.com/LibertyTreeGuns. That's correct.
You can also hear us every Saturday morning on News Talk KZRG.
We're there. We got that podcast thing going too.
The podcast.
Stitcher, Google,
iTunes.
Apple, iTunes, Podbean, if anybody uses that.
There is a couple more in there. Pandora.
Well, we're not on Pandora yet. That's like a 6 to 8 week
Spotify? Did you say Spotify?
thing. Yeah, we're definitely on Spotify.
We're on Spotify and TuneIn.
We are on TuneIn.
What
which
about iHeartRadio?
Yep, iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
I do heart radio.
And I believe that TuneIn is the default.
I love that.
Is the default podcast player for Alexa. So if you want to tell Alexa or...
How do they swing that deal?
I don't know. I mean, they're trying to hook up with anybody other than their major competitors, which in that market is Apple and Google.
I bet you that someone at TuneIn is Jeff Bezos' nephew.
You think?
Yeah. The wife's like, just let him have his player on. Just let him have it on Alexa.
Could you imagine that? We just did.
Yeah. The nephew comes up and is like, hey, Jeff. Hey, Uncle Jeff.
Uncle Jeff.
No, I imagine he's more like a lazy punk, like kind of.
Like a lazy punk that developed TuneIn?
Yeah. Yeah, that's... TuneIn is not good. We're on TuneIn. If you're listening on TuneIn, please disregard. We're not making fun of TuneIn.
Not at all. Just Jeff Bezos' nephew.
Yeah.
Just the founder.
All right,
we got
guys.
beef with Bezos.
You have been listening to the Gun Shop Show, and please, if you are going to make a purchase of guns, ammo, or accessories, please keep in mind your friends in the gun business, Liberty Tree Guns, and the Gun Shop Show.
The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.